Gary, congratulations, off and running here at the World Grand Prix. It's been a while since we've had you in a winner's interview, because you always say, I'm not really fussed, but that still means something to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, listen, to win's great, you know, but either way, I wouldn't care, and I really do mean it. You know, yeah, I played darts a long time now. It's more than a hobby than ever. You know, and it's just, yeah, when they go well, and when they don't, they don't, and that's where my darts is now. You know, so there's days that I play phenomenal, and there's days that I play absolutely not phenomenal.
Well, the year itself has been incredible. Your numbers are getting better and better. You're playing better than when you went back-to-back world titles. The numbers are saying that. What's spurred you on this year in particular to go to that next level?
You know what, it's to prove a point, and it's to myself. It's not to you boys, it's not to the supporters, it's not to the dart players. Because, you know, when I was practising with Ryan, I told you I was playing well. Yeah. And people think, oh, Gary and Ryan thought, last time we practice, and you'll have to, I reckon it was January. That was the last time we had a practice session, you know. So, but this month's been all right. You know, I've been up in Scotland doing charity nights, been across the island, and it's been good. It's worked a treat.
The floor form has been sensational. What we've seen, big ton plus averages, more double than anyone else. How do you then take that game onto the stage? Because if you can replicate that, yeah, there's more TV titles there for you. Big
word being if, you know, but it's been a while since I've been on stage. Doesn't happen very often nowadays, but no, listen, I love playing the Pro Tour. You know, we sit at the table, have a cracking laugh. To be honest, TV tournaments, your World Series, they don't interest me. You know, I'd rather just play Pro Tours. You know, sit and have a laugh with the boys and a game of darts. You know, and to me, that's the way I'm now. So anything else is a bonus.
What would it mean though to get your hands on another TV title?
I'd have to say no to the Premier League, wouldn't I? So it's your worst nightmare. No, listen, I'm here to play darts. You know, there's some cracking dart players out there. You know, I've over the last 6 months, I've noticed a lot of players coming through. You know, I mean, you talk about your Michaels, your Joes, your Michael Van Gerwens, but there's boys sitting right in the tail end of them, and if they don't sharpen up, they're in big trouble. I don't care, because I'm that far down the rankings, it doesn't matter now. But they boys need to watch out, because these young boys are, you know, you've got Luke Humphries, best player in the world, no doubt. You know, you should do a bit more interviews with Luke, because he deserves it. I mean, what he has won over the last 12, 18 months, he deserves it. You know, Luke Littler's coming through, firing all guns. You know, you've got Mike DeDecker, cracking player. You know, you've got all these boys coming through. So darts is going to be in a funny place in the next couple of years.
Gary, many congratulations.
Thank you, Philip.
Gary, you've obviously been around in the game a long time. Do you feel that the standard at the moment overall is better than it's ever been?
I don't know. I'm showing them up, and I'm 53. So what does that tell you? Not quite yet. But no, they are. The youngsters are coming through. You know, they're hungry. I've done a few exhibitions, a few charity nights in Ireland, and I'm playing 9 to 13-year-olds. And honestly, it's not about how they score, it's how they throw the darts. The throw's perfect, and they can only get better with the throwing. And I think that's just an island. So you've got all the other countries that's going to follow suit, and I blame Luke Littler for that. There's a new generation, a younger generation, and honestly, darts in the next, well, what, they're 9, so the next 5 to 6 years is going to be something else.
You mentioned about having a laugh and enjoying it on the Pro Tour again. Do you feel that that's had a big impact on your game and the numbers that you produce?
I've never really cared anyway. You know, I keep telling you boys that, and you just don't listen to me. But I go there and I have a laugh. You know, we sit at the table. You've got Michael, his old man. We sit with Darren Beveridge, Matt Dennon, Ian White, and we have a proper giggle. You know, as it should be. You should have a laugh. It doesn't matter what your job is. You need to have a laugh. And yeah, I think that's it. It's laid back. You know, it's a game of darts at the end of the day.
Do you still feel that there's another major or two in you?
Don't really care. I really don't. You know, I'll just keep playing darts until you write me off again, and then I'll have to start playing darts again. You know, but nah, listen, I play. I'm playing well. Like I say, when they go well, and when they don't go well, I'm in trouble. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
Cheers, Gary.
Gary, talk to me about where these incredible darts have come from. You say you've not had those practice sessions. Is it just?
Well, if you ask Ryan, every night we play, I play better than that. Ask him. So the next question is, next time you talk to Ryan, ask Ryan. I'm saying no more about it. You ask him how well the darts go when we have a practice night, and yeah, they go like that all the time.
We know there's a lot of tournaments coming up around the corner in the PDC. I mean, your motivations, do you expect to be at all these tournaments going into the World?
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Nah, I don't know. You know what I mean? If we get through to the Grand Slam, that's my favourite tournament of all tournaments. You know, Worlds, I know I'm in, and we'll take it from there. You know, there's no pressure on me. I come and go. You know, pick and choose, and it's working just now.
You talked a bit about the young players that are coming through at the moment, and then sort of youngsters you've seen over in Ireland as well. We sort of skip maybe 5-10 years down the line. What do you think the landscape of darts is going to look like?
Well, I reckon you'd have to ask Ian White 5-6 weeks ago. I played with months ago. Played with a young German lad, 9 years old, just as good as Littler. Count just as good, and honestly, not a word of English he spoke, but by God, this boy was something else. 9 years old. Shouldn't be playing darts like that, 9 years old. Maybe 29, but not 9. But yeah, they're everywhere now. You know, like I say, it's a very cheap game to play, and you can do it at home. You know, dartboard, set of darts, knock yourself out. You know, it's one of the sports that's you can have time at home and learn how to play it.
Do you think a lot of that is down just to the impact that Luke Humphries has?
Oh, definitely. He's definitely kicked on a younger generation. You know, by the time they boys are on stage, I'll be well gone. I'll be like, see you later, I'm off ski. But yeah, I mean, it can only get better, you know. To what heights, I do not know. Will the darts be as good as what they were in 2014, 15, 16? That'll take some beating, even with the talents on the go there now. That's what you've got to remember, you know, you've got to take then and now. So that's a good big one.
Gary, we've spoken about the performances we've seen this year. Is it a stretch to say that you are the most feared man on the Pro Tour at the moment?
No, go back 2 years ago, everyone wanted to play me, you know, because I was absolutely cack. Can we say cack without getting fined? Is cack a word?
I think it's
That's all right, yeah. You know, I didn't want to play darts, I don't want to travel. You know, I've got a lot of things going on. I've got my young family, you know, there's a lot of things going on. I mean, these boys, next year's even bigger, you know, it's even more on. You know, they've all got young families and wives and that. You know, it's going to be hard on them. It's got to take its toll. But at the end of the day, it's a job, and they've got to do it. You know, if they want to make a penny and pay the bills, it's got to be done.
Where are the hunger levels now compared to what they were at other points in your career?
Well, hunger's gone. I might have put on a bit of weight, but I'm not that. Seeing that Phil's treat me to eat dinner tomorrow, so
Baggers.
I might take him off on that. But no, listen, I do. I just throw darts. I don't really care. You know, as long as I have a game of darts and it's a straight game, then, you know, I'm happy with the win or the loss.
It seemed a few years ago that people were talking about the R-word retirement. It's not been mentioned in a long, long time now. Is that still a very, very distant future now?
Now, this is what happens when you work for press and TV. You've not got a frigging clue. I'll stop when I want to stop. You've not got a clue, honestly. You just think what you see is what you get. You've not got a clue. People have lives. Do you have a life? 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 Yeah. Well, it's nice to have a life, but if you're doing this constantly, you wouldn't have a life. You know, I know what I can do. I know what I can do, what I can't do. And at the end of the day, like you say, your pundits, they've not got a clue. That's why they're sitting on the arses talking about darts instead of playing darts.
Cheers, Gary. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Gary, you
Now I've got myself into trouble again, Sorry.
just one more from me. You briefly touched on it, Phil, there about the publicity that Luke Humphries has received. I spoke to Karen Wilson, the snooker world champion, last week.
Oh yeah.
And he's called out the organisers for not being on the table one at certain tournaments, not getting publicity that other players get. Do you think, being world champion, you almost deserve the right for certain privileges?
It's not just being world champion. What has Luke won in the last 2 years? This is the thing. He has won just about everything. Well, since this last year, isn't he?
Yeah.
Has he won just about everything?
Only the European Championships and the Premier League.
Right, so that's hats off. He's not just world champion. He's there for a reason. World champion was added onto his CV. You know, he's won so much more, and the boy gets looked over every time, which I think is a load of to be honest. You know, he's deserved everything that he's worked for, everything that he's got, and just to talk about other players, rubbish, absolute rubbish.
How do you think they should go about handling it better?
I'll just give him a bit of respect, you know, he's never ever mentioned, it's always other people, you know. But Luke, I think Luke just goes, on you go. As long as they're talking about other people, the limelight's off of him, so he can just carry on what he does.
The comparison.
And he's handled it as well, but deep down he must be a bit cheesed off with it. You know,
I think it's a bit too modest, if anything.
Nah, he just does what he does. You know, he plays darts and wins, and that's it.
Thank you very much.